diet really gives the benefit of experiencing the inner bliss.
Yes. Today we are joining with Pradeep Sir, and so the emotion you're talking about is died. You talk about you have been short tempered before, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
people uh, people are diagnosing that is a personality type and all that, the anger problem that you have experienced. But
yeah.
after
I was a
changing your
severely
diet,
high. I was severely a high blood pressure patient.
yeah,
So
and very
that,
short temper. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
See, I
So
have a
obviously, yeah,
challenges
it's
when it comes to emotion. Everyone has its challenges, and the
yeah, yeah.
diet plays an important role according to
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
right?
So that yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, what I find is, this is the ultimate thing. But after changing only diet, you can become what you want. Exactly. If you want to become a sportsman, businessman, or a spiritual person, whatever
yeah,
you want to do, if you want to really enjoy the journey, your diet has to change. Then everything is, it's
yeah.
smooth
Can you
flow.
please once again, for better understanding, highlight when you change your diet, you have seen that it affects your temper as well, right? You
Yeah, yeah,
become
yeah. Well,
more calm
cool and calm.
or cool and calm. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So do you find out what is the reason behind it? Is it because of the alkaline diet, or the body shift, the pH level in your body change, that change your make you calm, or because you're cutting out acidic food, right? Will that
Yeah,
be
yeah.
one
So
of the
yeah, yeah.
reason?
So yeah, yeah. So I can put it in different languages and different ways. The people like it. Basically, I feel that yes, the moment I switched over to alkaline diet, for which my body is designed. So obviously, the body went in harmony inside, and when there was an harmony inside, obviously, what was the natural innate quality started to surfacing it out in a very simple language. Or I went for a violence-free diet, whatever you call it, because violence, all the diet coming out of violence is acidic. So whichever way people would like to see it, or what is naturally designed by the nature, God cooked diet or natural diet, or whatever you call it, or alkaline diet, or violence-free diet. So all this is there, and this is
Yeah,
what you do,
so
and
after
that,
you change your diet, you've seen
yeah,
the effect on your emotion, right?
yeah,
So
yes,
this is one way we can help other people. Like in the time of crisis we are facing, we are constantly feel uh, people are filled with anxiety, fear, fear of their career, fear and the futures ahead of us. So you are
yeah,
basically saying that if they are going more into natural diet, that will also affect their mental ability to able to have a better perspective of life, right? Or outlook
yeah,
of
yeah,
life,
yeah,
because
yeah,
the
yeah.
situation may not change, but we can change our, what do we call, our way of looking
Inner
at it,
clarity.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
inner
Yeah.
okay.
clarity is there. Inner clarity is there. So once the inner clarity is there, your ability to handle the same situations and the multitasking what is required, you can do it in a much better way and in very soft way, which otherwise you used to lose your temper or you used to get tired or whatever it is. Now those emotions don't come. Right? You think this is an opportunity rather than a odd situation. So instead of running away from the situation, you said, "Hey, okay, better let me work on me and find an answer to this situation." So all the blissful energy starts supporting you, and all the divine forces start supporting you, and that what was inside starts surfacing out, and you are putting it in the real life and experiencing that difference. So
Okay.
ultimately, it's a journey of self improvement.
Yes.
That's great. Another question that
fact,
we
I
should
was
talk
I,
about.
I
Yeah.
wanted to tell you that we will be adding an article, a link to an article in below, which will help people who want to understand the scientific way of how our body reacts and our moods are connected to food. So that, if anybody wants to study a little more on it, they can do some more research themselves. There is a Harvard study which was done showing that clean foods were healthier for us, for our minds, then and showing the correlation between eating sugar, and how our moods changed with those types of foods. So you can also do that experiment with yourself. Try eating raw foods for like a week and see how your general mental wellness feels. You will notice yourself being a little more understanding, compassionate, patient also, and just relaxed, more relaxed, not so hyper and ready to answer somebody when they're upset at you. You may wait a little longer and see what is both sides of the story, giving a little bit more of a balance to your relationships as well. You will find a lot of, you know, benefits that way as well. Sorry.
One correction or suggestion that I'll give, will let us not use the word raw food. We'll say either nature cooked or God cooked
Yes.
or sun
Yes.
cooked. That
Fine.
would be a better, more appealing word rather
Yeah.
than raw means something incomplete. No, something is lacking when you say raw. So it's not a very appealing word to be used. And when we
Right.
say it's a nature cooked or God
Okay.
cooked, or that would be a better word, and that's what I'm saying.
Yes, yes.
And this is a
Mostly.
very basically one more thing that I am going to add here. This is an effortless thing happening, and you're not putting a very special efforts. You're not attending, that motivational speakers and so on and so many things. You listen, you feel a lot of good things around that. But moment you come out of the hall, you're back to what you were. So no, the longevity or the lastingness is not there, because ultimately you have to change your core inner being, and that will happen with physical food, obviously. And then obviously being in that type of environment, being that type of people who are of the similar wavelength, and that is the real motivating force which you should be around that. So this is how the journey goes.
So let me just clarify for audience that what they are talking about is mostly the diet they're talking about is a natural food, which are sun cooked diet, right? Sun cooked food, which means which are not cooked
On
fruits
fire.
or
On
anything, yeah, which are not cooked on fire. So that's what they mean when they talk about raw food. So what we need to I want us today to talk about is this kind of food. you know I want you to highlight if you have any thing to say on how it's affect the guts, and how it's affect the brain when people change, or what type of diet affect their guts bacteria. If you have talk about, I think you will have some thought on all these things, how it's related to guts, and immunity as well in general, because people are talking about immunity which comes from antibodies, right? But our body is something that we still, scientists are still exploring the 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 mysteries about the body, that it's not just the antibodies that people are when it comes to disease. It's not just the antibodies, the guts bacteria. There are a lot of studies on the guts bacteria, which is measure immune system lies on the gut, right? That's what the finding when it comes to health. This is the latest finding. So if people wants to improve their immunity, one way is to look at on diet aspect. So I want you to describe, if people wants to improve their immunity, then there is a simple way, that is going into natural diet, right? So please tell us, how will people improve their immunity and connected with the guts bacteria, or how the diet affect the guts as well as their brain. Feel free to share your
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
on all this.
So, yeah, yeah. So, very short, if I have to put it in a thing, basically, let me tell you, the nature is so, it's beyond human interpretation and human imagination. So, instead of trying to analyze the inner engineering or the inner engineering of the almighty nature, it should better to surrender and accept this thing. All said and done, despite with whatever limited knowledge the mankind has generated over the most divine soul, divine body that nature has given us. See, basically in the gut we have got good bacteria and bad bacteria. This is what is being said. Now, who is going to breed on what? That's the important question. So, if you eat an acidic diet, basically, which body is not designed for, the body will not be able to digest. It will be there, and bad bacteria will breed on that, and because of this, lot of problems, health issues will be there. But if you eat the alkaline diet for which our body is designed, yes, good bacteria will breed on it, and we'll see that our body remains, immunity is enhanced, and it remains on the top of the possible level. So all this thing is possible, and then basically what happens is, if you take the acidic diet, inflammation takes place, and then inflammation is the root cause of lot many issues. So this is what we have to understand very short, and think that everything which has come physically gone inside my body should appropriately come out of my body. Whatever of the nutrition that has to be absorbed by my guts, rest of the things should be easily and peacefully dissipated. Means it should be thrown outside in the specified slot of time. Otherwise, bad bacteria will start breeding on it, and then if they are in majority, yes, this is going to happen. So we have to ensure that good bacteria are there, and that is how we have to do. So if you use acidic diet, or a diet for which your body is not designed, yes, the guts will be under a lot of stress, and if the guts in the stress, yes, you have a lot of health issues of constipation and bolting and so many things, IBS and so many issues, and from which so many several diseases will surface out in time to come.
Okay, another thing is, from your experience, after you change your diet, mental clarity, brain fog, what is your experience on that after you change your diet, before and after? What is your experience on the mental level, your thinking level, clarity, brain fog? Feel free to share your experience. How
See,
this diet
lot
help you?
See, there are a lot many things that I can say, but considering the time and everything, in short, I will say that mental clarity is really in front of me. All the illusions and the fears have vanished. I feel I will stay. My inner intuition says that I will stay 106 years healthy, fit, and fine, and I will have a healthy exit. That is the first thing that I can tell you. And even I will celebrate the last moment of my life. So this clarity and going with all the happiness inside you at the very last moment is the rarest of rare thing which happens, and but that's what is going to happen. So if I have got that clarity, I think I've got almost what anybody should be looking out for. So which most of the spiritual leaders, or all the scientists, or anybody has still not had this type of exit. So healthy exit is one of the important parameter for which I have got the clarity. Secondly, control over the emotions is always there, which is relatively better. Self-awareness has increased, so I know what am I doing, what wrong I am doing it. So self-correction takes faster. The magnitude and the intensity of the wrongness which was happening prior to this has dampened out to a great extent, and so coming back to normalcy and to was a, is a it's very fast. So this is one thing, and I don't carry too much of a ill feelings for any person. Yes, at that particular moment I speak the truth, but I don't carry any ill feeling for that individual, because if something wrong is happening, you have to speak the truth. That is also one for fixed. You can't be a very tame fellow and then just to look good for everybody, you should say, no, I speak the truth. So I may be slightly unpopular for some people, but then ultimately truth has to sustain. But I will not carry a wrong feeling for that person. Yes, for that particular thing, it is okay, but otherwise, I don't have any hatred or ill feeling for any individual. So that type of clarities are there, and I feel that I will be able to control the rarest of rare emotions. It's a journey, right? Let me tell you right now, it's a journey. It's not that everything is fine. I'm working on it, but there's a noticeable improvement, and sure that in time to come, all the further improvements and the refinements will take place, and experiencing the bliss will be from inside and not outside. So I will not be requiring to move out for anything, for getting anything. And no, there's no necessity to have a better dress code, or to look good and all those things, because I get those feelings inside. So like some people enjoy traveling with food, with lot of food and appreciation and name and fame, and all those things will not be that important to us, because everything is, you are filled with inner joy and happiness. So you don't search it from outside and near and dears and so many things. But despite the same, yes, you have to discharge your responsibilities. So that part always is there, but without expectancy. So starting to work, doing the work without expectancy, that is the major thing that is can likely to happen. And that
Yeah,
is where, yeah,
yeah,
working on
yeah.
the self ego and all those things is one of the critical parameters.
If I got it wrong or right, correct me. See, what he is talking about basically is after changing his diet, what he find out is that he have a sense of contentment. His life before just changing his diet affect his outlook of life, and it affect
Yes.
his perspective of life, and he have a content that no matter it's not the material things or anything outside of him that is satisfying him, just but all the blissfulness that he find is from the inside. So if people are looking for joy, happiness, this is one way to look into, change your diet and see what change it has on your emotion and your overall satisfaction and inner feeling. This is a how for me my personal journey start around 2017, and after what he talks about is detoxification. Once I experienced certain level of detoxification by changing my diet, what happened was from junk food to more natural diet. What happened was my mental clarity also yeah, improved, and what happened really is that life I my outlook and perspective of life changed. It affect my mental, it affect my spiritual life. That doesn't mean that I don't need to work on my mental or my spiritual life, but the diet itself helped me to able to look at life how it's supposed to be. I don't
It helps
compete with anyone. Yeah, so
us
no,
to
there
find
is no need
joy.
for contact. Yeah, so that's a short related story that I can share. If so, I think this is what he is talking about. The diet changing could help us to be able to feel content in life, and I find that he will also work on his spiritual life as well, but that is another topic altogether. And thank you for sharing your story, and yeah, any
Yeah.
comment?
Yeah, one more thing that I'll add is the quality of the food that you take and the quantity is depends. Like, we are, as it is said, we are made of five basic ingredients. The air, the the space, the air, the water, the earth element, and the fire element. These are five elements from which each and every creature is being created, and the whole universe is created of all these things. Now, when we are created, our food is also created from the five elements. Now, in the purest form you take, then you don't require even to food, physical food or water also. I have come across those people. I've stayed with those people. They are called breatharians. So they don't take any physical food. But then, yes, we are not of that competence. But yes, we take what nature has created with those five forces. Nature has created plant-based food, fruits and vegetables. That is what nature has made for us, and we take it for that. And all these things happen, and you'll experience the inner happiness and the inner divinity. That's what, and that is uncomparable with the outside thing, because outside these things are a short term and
That's
non-permeance, and
true.
this
That's
will
true.
be a permeance till you exist and exit.
Yeah, I'm very glad you bring up this topic. I thought of not bringing this topic, but if we talk about food, we have to bring this topic because we are talking the natural level, but people can live with the force around them. Nowadays there are certain people who live as Pradeep said, the vibrations around them, they don't need even food to survive, na? And this also, if we look at from a Bible point of view, from a Christian point of view, this is something that should be considered. I look at Jesus as a Britorian because when Jesus was questioned, in the he was fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, he was tempted, and what he said was, "Man shall not live by bread alone." And something arise on our mind that, yeah, see, the spiritual, those who know spiritual paths knows that there is something beyond food that can satisfy us and that can nourish our body. And we have not yet explored that level. We are stuck in this level, but still is good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
also need to start that
Yeah.
level. The natural
And
level itself is
yeah,
good.
yeah. What I'm
Yeah,
trying to say is, even if you come out of junk food and all this fire cooked food, that's a big achievement. Or you reduce the
big
amount of
difference. Yeah.
content of fire cooked. I don't say you go for 100% natural cooked food or nature cooked food, but if you reduce that to a great percent and come out of junk food, then also you won the battle, and your
That's
health
true.
is ensured. That even that much effort is good enough, and all the toxic things that you're consuming in day-to-day life, and liquor and cigarettes and so many things what you're consuming, and all these
It's
things, and
just,
you come.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So even
All
if you do
these,
that much also is a big achievement, I mean,
that's
for
true.
all.
Yeah, all this junk food and all this chemical that we put toxic in our body,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
stress our body, takes a lot of energy instead of helping us to get energy. And can I just basically what we have been describing is how diet affects our mood, anxiety, even it affects our emotion. Now I want to let's go deeper, if people wants to look into this kind of studies. Crystal has mentioned some of this the science paper regarding that, and I think people can also find the correlations between plant-based diet and some other forms of modern diet. They have an experiment done in a prison. They change their diet and then they see dramatic change in the violence among the prisoners. So you can just check that on the net. You will find. So these things we will not go into deep. Just we want to make sure that there is a thing that diet have an intense effect on our emotions, and people should look into it, including me. I need to go more into natural diet, and I also encourage others as well. So this is the message that we are bringing. And when Jesus talked about, like, men shall not live by bread alone but by the every word of God, right? So that also should be discussed in some session. What really is that can sustain our life, that doesn't have any toxic. Even food has certain amount of toxic. So yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think it's a journey that you go on, because I've been on this journey now for 6 years and I'm still learning every day something new. But not too long ago, about a month ago, I heard a little bit about fasting and autophagy, and this kind of piqued my interest, and I wanted to know, like, can someone sustain themselves? Like, will I miss food so much? Will I be able to only have water in the day and not miss food? And I actually tried it, and I was surprised at how light I felt, and how um like, I didn't miss food at all. I was surprised. I really thought I was going to not be able to carry out the autophagy. It's about 3 to 4 days of water fasting. And I didn't miss food even one time. There was only one time where I slightly had a slight inclination, and that's when I was making some food for my children. Then I felt like, I wanted to eat something. But I just waited a little while, and that phase passed also. And after that, I just kept drinking water. Every time I felt hungry, or, I needed some sustenance, I just drank water. And I felt so light and good with that cleansing. It did such a good detox to the body. And it really helped. So I would recommend that you try, of course, with some guidance. Maybe you can consult with Pradeep Shah, and also we have Nayan G on the group, who's also following the NDS system. We have many people who have been doing it for years and are capable of guiding us. So we can get some guidance from those professionals as to
Yeah, yeah.
how and when to fast and how to do
Maybe
it.
we will invite them once on our
Yeah. So
talks. Yeah.
so basically, in short, I'll tell you that nature has made us complete,
Yes,
full-fledged, to remain healthy, happy, and blissful all throughout the life. So,
yes,
if you are on natural diet, basically you will never get ill. That is one part. For
that's
any
right.
reason, let us say you are ill or you are injured or whatever happens, Nature has made all the provision for you to auto heal without any requirement outside assistance. So what you have to do is to take rest. Now, when I say rest means you rest your physical body, you rest your digestive system, you rest your excretive system, and you rest your mental body, your mind. If you are giving a rest to all the physical body, digestive system, excretive system, and your mind, all that energy which is there will be focusing only on the problem which is there, and you will be healthy, fit, and fine, irrespective of whatever problem you have. And this is the ultimate thing that is nature has bestowed to each and every creature, and each and every creature is using this thing. Except the human beings, we feel that we are above the nature, and we are above, our intelligence can is above the nature, and we are trying to find answers in medicines and so many things which can only do some suppressive work, not curative work, and it will never solve the root problems. So it's a
Very
nature science which has been bestowed. So you have to resort to the nature, and that's the only answer. So
mm,
whatever comforts we have generated because of science, so whatever at the time and the energy we are saving, we have to use it for our spiritual enhancement rather than all the luxuries and succumbing to laziness and all those things.
Yeah, see, what you were talking about is uh, the ultimate that people should know. We are exploring this, that I have learned this, that our body is self healing, and then what he emphasizes that once you rest your body, mind, the body will focus on healing itself. That is a natural that God has bestow and designed our body to be. This discovery is very very much needed in today's world. People think that some chemical outside of the some pharmaceutical drugs will cure them. No, that is just uh, what is that, treating the symptoms, and it never heal the body. So if we are not saying that we know everything. We are guiding people to explore more and check with all this what we have talked about. And I think that shall we go back to our
Yeah,
topic like yeah.
I'll just add one thing. What Crystal said is autophagy. Now,
Mhm.
autophagy is almost in all the scriptures, especially in the Indian scriptures. This is very well there. That you
Mhm.
take your food once after the sunrise, and you stop eating up before the sunset. So this is one
Mhm.
of the things which is there. So your eating cycle is almost around 6 to 8 hours, and then rest of the time you give rest to your digestive system. So digestion and the excretion happens in a better way. So every day you cleanse your body, you give sufficient time for the body to cleanse itself, digest and cleanse. So the accumulation of the dirt doesn't happen inside, and because of which, day-to-day efforts of autophagy and intermittent fasting, you're naturally healed every day. So long fastings are obviously good if you do it on certain intervals. But even if you're not able to do longer fasting on day-to-day basis, what you can do is you can adopt the intermittent fasting, maybe not of 16 hours, then maybe of 14 hours or whatever you are capable of, and start seeing. And at that time, you don't eat any food or try to take minimum water. So this is not a very difficult thing that you can adopt in your day-to-day life. So autophagy or intermittent fasting, that is what one should try in a day-to-day life.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. Shall we go back? We are a bit drifting away from the main topic, but it's good we reached this far. And see, basically, the effect of diet on our mental health, right? So in this topic, we have talked about how it's affect our moods. Even Pradeep Sir talk about how it's affect his temper, right? He's short
Yeah, yeah.
temper. He's able to more relatively able to control his emotion better. And for me as well, I have to really look into diet aspect as well, because emotion run wild, and situation whatever we face, everyone has their own problem and
So
challenges. So please look
yeah.
into diet as one aspect. Yeah.
No, it's not only the emotion of the anger, but almost all the emotions gets diluted to a great extent. It could be emotion of greed, it could be emotion of fear, it could be emotion of lust. All those things, are well within the control, and you don't feel, that you don't have a control over yourself. So all the, even the, whatever you name it, the distrust and all those things don't happen to that level. And even something wrong happens, it doesn't pain to that level which used to pain prior to this. So acceptance comes, the level of acceptance comes, self awareness increases. So what am I doing, how am I reacting? So now I am in front of my mirror and I'm watching myself rather than watching the other fellow who is in front of me, and maybe agitating
Inst-
in front of me.
yeah, yeah.
So,
And
so the
instead
self
of judging
awareness, yeah, yeah.
others, yeah. Mm.
And the one of the important parameter that I would like to put it today here is, the emotions of lust, which is relevant even from the teenagers or 8 to 8 years child, to the youth. Obviously, is in much there. Even the aged people, that emotion of lust is playing a havoc. Though the body is not physically fit, but then the emotion is still young. So they also do a lot many wrong things around them. And even this 8 year child or so, they have a relationships and they do all the wrong things which are they are not supposed to do at this age. And all these things are there, this you have a lot of control over that. And this thing which is, very predominant because of this internet and so many things, and everybody on the mobile, and a lot of provocations coming around. And parents are really scared of everything, and they don't know how to handle the situation. The only thing I can tell you is all the problems are there. Change the diet and see the miracles of all these things. Your child will become silent, more peaceful, more cooperative, and he will be in happy terms with your family members, and he will not do
Yeah.
all the mistakes which are happening around in the society. And certain things, you can't speak in public domain. So
Yeah, yeah.
the parent go under depression under this condition. So the whole most of the solution lies in changing the diet and go back to the nature and what nature has designed.
Exactly. That's a great point. Can I add something here? Here, I'll show you here. This is a PDF file, and it's a book called uh, Guts and Psychology, Guts and Psychology Syndrome. Okay, I
Yeah.
will put in the this also in the description. You can read on it. What he talks about is diet affect. What is that, the child behavior. Here there is a uh, good scientific study in this book. In my course of MSc, doing my studies, I have uh, come across these studies, very important. you know when they changed the gut microbiome, what happened was the psychology of a patients whom they call ADHD, all these schizophrenia, depression, uh, autism, these things are cured by changing the children's diet. And then this is a well studied paper and a book written by MD, okay, Dr. Natasha Campbell, MD. So neurology and master in medical science, nutrition. So a very good book to read. I will keep it on the description. People can check how the diet changed the behavior of a child. Amazing, isn't it? People call this mental illness. In the psychology, what happened was the psychiatrist will diagnose people with different names, and I'm not part of it. Although I study psychology, I don't want to label people, but here many labels are there. What happened was, just by changing their diet, what happened is they are able to reverse back all their problem. Even ADHD, they can change. This is amazing. So please look onto it and explore.
I can give you an example of how this is very commonplace and you see it a lot. When you go for a birthday party and you see all of the children just eating all of the junk food which is there. Most of the food in these parties is really unhealthy food. It's like ice cream,
Sugar,
cake,
gold.
candy,
Yeah,
sugar, so much of sugar in it.
yeah.
And even the other foods which are not sweet are like, deep fried chips and deep fried this and everything. When you finish the party, after the children have eaten everything, you see at the end as they're going home, they're almost all of them are in tears and really out of sorts. They're not happy, they're not content, they're very restless, they're giving their parents a lot of issues, a lot of trouble. Maybe the for me, when I was working, I used to be an event manager before I started doing doula work. And I used to see this day after day after day. And even that, at that time itself, I decided I was going to stop eating the party food because I realized this is not good for our health, you know. And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
kids used to eat these little smileys, you know, deep fried smileys and the chips. And of course, it's very simple and easy to prepare for the kids. So every parent just wants to do something which is quick and easy. And then they think that the
That's
kids
true.
love
Yeah.
that. So they,
Uncle tips.
they give into them, you know. But the problem is a lot of that food has a chemical reaction in the body which causes mental behavior and problems in their behavior. And I saw always a big problem. Also, another time I saw this was at Halloween. Halloween is a festival in America and in the West where everyone dresses up like a different character and goes around house to house saying trick or treat. That means they ask for a treat, which the person at the house gives either some candy or they play a trick on the people. And my kids used to come home with literally boxes and boxes of candy. And they would eat this candy all in one night, and the next day they would be sick and they would be upset and angry at each other, fighting like so easily, fighting with each other. They had a very high sugar, like high, which made them very, you know, energetic, hyper and energetic. But then when they would come down from that high, they were really aggressive and angry and upset, and so many issues were there. And I came to see the pattern every year, the same thing. And I realized I don't want to celebrate Halloween anymore because I don't like this way that
That's
you know,
true.
my kids behave afterwards, you know. And I just used to take the candy from them and I would say, okay, fine, you can have a little bit, but the rest we are going to give away to to the poor people because I don't want you to just overdo and eat so much, you know. Even I felt bad giving it to the beggars because I don't want them to have a bad stomach ache or a bad, you know, a bad experience after eating healthy. You get so consciously aware of what you're taking into your body that you feel bad even giving something unhealthy to somebody else. Instead of giving money, I'll buy a banana or guava or some fruit and I'll give it to the beggar and I'll say, here, give this to your family, give this to your children. And I feel so much better about giving them something which is healthy for their body because I know that it's going to make them better. You know, it's like feed a man for a day and you feed him you give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, but teach a man to fish and you feed him for life. Well, you know, being vegan, I don't like to fish as such, you know, that way. But you can say, like, you know, show them the healthy way to eat and they will be able to eat
Okay.
healthy for the rest of their lives, you know.
See,
So
the the
anyways,
one
just
Don't go and teach them how to catch fish.
what.
Go and teach them how to catch fish. I'm just kidding.
yeah,
Yeah.
just one thing that I will like to add is there is not a single justification to eat party food. The way the party food is being prepared for so many people in such a short time, you know, it has been preserved for so many days, it is already cooked
Yeah,
once and
that's
then
true.
they just heat it and give it to you, over fry and give it to you, and you are eating just because of the taste of spices and masalas. It's not the core taste of the
That's right.
core material. So no way, you know, party food is something which people should try to celebrate. So on that day
I
fasting is
think
better than feasting with
no,
this thing.
no. How will they celebrate party with fasting? Maybe
No, no, so see, basically that will only bestow that on that particular day instead of feasting. If you do fasting, is better, or on the very next day you do fasting and clear that account
yeah.
of all the
Clear
Uh,
junk
that
food to be
account.
thrown out.
I like that.
I think they need to Uncle Chip and all these preservatives added food, you know, like Uncle Pradeep's these are not needed. I'm just kidding. You know,
Yeah.
No,
Uncle Chip, all
absolutely.
these
You know,
things are really not good for body. Yeah, but
I
we.
think if we as parents, you know, set the example to our children of how to eat, you know, they may or may not follow us immediately, you know. It may take them some time to develop that taste for the natural foods, but they know it and it is in their heart and it is inside of their being that when they need it and they remember, oh, yes, my mother, my father, they used to eat like this and it helped them to be much better. That example of showing them how to eat is more powerful than all the lectures in the world about nutrition and telling them what is healthy for
Yeah, so,
you. You know,
so
nowadays my kids, they know what is healthy, and they tell me what is healthy all the time, and I'm
Oh,
proud of them
wow.
for knowing that knowledge.
No, so the same thing here. Only thing, we have to bow the seeds, and then it will germinate as and when the situation arises, and it will be a plant, and then it will become a tree, and then the fruits
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that will be in the future. It will be there. So
yeah,
important responsibility here is to bow the seeds and allow that to
yeah,
germinate within whole course of journey. So that's what
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
it is.
Planting
Yeah.
the seed. Right now, we are
Yeah,
sowing the
yeah,
seed. Yeah.
yeah. That's what we are doing.
Yeah.
Now people have to give some water and air
Yeah.
and sunlight and all those things and some thing, and it will germinate in course of time.
I myself need to grow. You guys are planting seed on me again. I could not maintain my diet as a natural diet, but nowadays I'm watering slowly. So that's a good start anyway. Can I share one thing? You talk about unnatural food, like why I mentioned Uncle Chip is these things are added with preservatives, and by itself I don't say that if people find it difficult to quit all these things, then I'm not judging you. But let me make it clear. I was like when those days I also eat all this junk food, and when I start stopping all this junk food, what happened was there are a lot of peer pressure around me. I could not people will hand over some junk food to me, people will like to give some samosa to me, and I find it very very difficult to ignore it because it's like a normal food, right? So sometimes I act as if I eat the samosa and I went out and throw it in the dustbin, and I came back and they thought that I finished the samosa. So there's some incident that I have, which is quite funny. I didn't tell. If I tell them, it will be out of courtesy. I did certain things which are very funny, and now what I realized was, yeah, see, if we if I am maybe too strict those days. The new diet system may consider samosa sometimes. I don't know in the part of the diet or not. Will the new diet system will incorporate the samosa
See,
or not?
no, no. See, there are layers of new diet system. It's that one is at the top level where you are only in sync with the nature, but there is certain things for common man to sustain and survive. He doesn't have that inner power to do this. So some sort of cooked food is allowed, but so obviously fried food we always say to restrain from fried food and all this. That maida which from which the samosas are made, wheat and this. All this flour, the fine flowers, we say that you abstain from those food, and obviously fried food. So and then you can use, even if you want to eat cooked food, you use a lot of vegetables in cooked form. That would be is a better choice. And instead of you eating wheats and flour, you instead of that you utilize this millets and other things which is much better, like jowar, bajri, and so on. So which is a diet which is relatively a better option to select from rather than this wheat which is having a gluten issues and all this MGO food which is coming right now. The seeds are all MGO, and that is a real problem. So this is what we say in NDS. So we do give some liberties for, because everybody will not be able to sustain this way. So there is a trade-off for
That's true.
almost everybody. Yeah.
Yeah,
In
thank
fact,
you.
today I was talking with one lady. I think she must have got her lifestyle from you, Pradeep ji, because she had told me that last 6 months she was following the NDS system. She's in Gujarat, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said, she connected with me, and she said, "How are you eating like only raw foods?" She said, "I still eat the dinner, which is cooked." And so I explained to her that I slowly went to this point. I didn't go from day one to only raw foods. I also took time to slowly transition. So I said in the beginning, I used to still enjoy some cooked food. So I used to have like one cooked meal in the day, which was mostly soup. I really liked soup. So I would just slightly boil the vegetables and make a soup. But then I decided I didn't want to cook my vegetables anymore. So I kept all my veggies raw, and I would make jawar roti. and I would put the vegetables inside of the jawar roti like a burrito. In Mexico, they have a burrito, right? So I would make a burrito. And then when I decided to go completely raw, like 100%, sorry, not raw, completely sun cooked, 100% sun cooked, I took the leaf of the vegetable, like the lettuce or the cabbage or the spinach, and I put the vegetables in that and I rolled it up and I ate it like a burrito. Everything was raw. So I said I started slowly, slowly, slowly you move from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And gradually your body will give you that satisfaction. You will not crave those things anymore because you're getting the full, pure nutrition in your body, so your body stops craving the things which are not natural. And now I find that even if I just have one meal in a day, just one meal, I'm satisfied. I don't feel like I have to eat three meals also. I feel like one meal is fully satisfying for me, and I'm not feeling hungry the rest of the day. In fact, I feel lighter, I feel more energy, and I feel like I can do more. I feel more clarity is there, because I think the more food we eat, the more work we're giving to our bodies, and the more digestion we're doing, and the more work our body's doing. But the less we eat, but the quality of the food should be good. Like, I'm not saying less food, but you also need to focus on the quality of the food you're eating. So whatever food you're eating, it should be very high in nutrients, high in enzymes, like that. So today, like, I had only one meal, and I just had two different types of sprouts were there in it. And then I also grated cabbage, and I had some tomato in there, and,
Yes,
uh, and then some seeds, and that was it, and some seeds. And then I blended one tomato with
I
some
think
garlic and put a
I
little
think
salt.
Crystal Mom will have one session talking about some of the recipe that she used to sustain her natural diet. We are running short of time, and
Okay,
at the
I'm
same
sorry
time,
about
she
that.
also talk it no problem. She also talk about, you know she transition herself slowly. So my level is different. Her level is way much higher than mine. I know that, and Pradeep Z as well. His much way vibrations are very high compared to me. Or so, yeah, we are on our way on the journey. So please,
We are.
anyone can join
But
in. Yeah.
one thing I can tell you, you are too young and you have much time and a better future. So
Yes,
yes, so that is to your advantage. So we learned this thing after the age of 55, and I believe you are below 30s or something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
So yes, you are gifted with so many extra years to do lot many good
and
things.
your baby is very small, so you can start your baby
Yeah.
also on some cooked food.
Yes, we started some fruits now, and she could not eat
Great.
much because the quantity are very less. Yeah, high
That's
quality fruits.
nice.
Yeah, thanks for all the guidance, and yeah, let's sum up what we have been discussed. Pradeep Ji today talks about how this natural diet he embraced changed his mental state of being, how it affect his mental life, emotional life, and we also give some highlight on some scientific backup that we have at our disposal, some of the latest science about guts and how it's related to diet and the mental health, as well as what do we talk about immunity, right? The how diet affects our immunity. So stay tuned. We will invite some friends, and Pradeep Ji has to invite some of his friends as well.
Yeah, yeah,
And let's sit together. We have,
yeah,
I think we will have a good time together. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, at the same time, anything else that we are trying to close this session, but feel free if you have anything to comment, any thought. Yes.
Thanks a lot for giving this opportunity to serve the people around. And let us hope the whole India and the world get integrated with this diet, and all the worldly issues get resolved from simple diet rather than from all the controversies and all these things. The universal solution is in the nature, and
That's
simple change the
right.
diets and
Exactly.
everything will be changing. Thoughts will
I
change and everything will change.
I think
I would.
the simple answer people are looking answer in a very complex, and the I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
against science, but the answers are sometimes very simple, we just need to simplify things instead of making things so complex. The problem disease itself, we complex it so much that we are so confused, but here we are presenting a very simple message. No matter what disease your doctor may call, for us we are not scared because we are bringing the core value of what is health. If you have health as your natural state of being, there is no place for disease. Yeah, right.
Right.
Let us
Yeah.
accept one thing, that nature has all the answers and they are very simple answer. Let us not look out for a complicated answer. And all the nature answer is there. It's very simple to apply and
Yeah.
understand and appreciate and experience.
you
Thank you all.
know yes, we are almost for going for almost 1 hour, but I feel that we are just
I want to
starting.
also add I want to also add that even the scariest of diseases and scariest of of sicknesses which you can be diagnosed with can be totally cured with the diet. So, no matter
Yes,
what,
I
So,
no
after
matter
to the,
what,
God.
to the,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes, please.
to the best of my understanding, we have cured almost all different types of the problems, the health issues which
Yeah,
we have encountered, and
yeah, yeah,
yes, our further studies will be required to investigate further things to
yeah,
happen,
yeah.
and
Please,
we require
please.
people of firm determination to experiment on this, because many a
That's
times, because
true. Experiment. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Don't trust us. We are not.
obviously not to trust anybody. Your experience is the ultimate answer and ultimate thing
Yeah.
for you. So
yes,
experiment and experience, and that is the ultimate thing. That is what we can do.
I think we have been misunderstanding even the about doctor nowadays. Doctors can guide you, can facilitate you, but they don't have the solution as well. They can facilitate, if you get certain injuries, there is a place and time, but ultimately we need to find out some simple ways. What are We don't need to look in a very complex and study. If you can, no problem, but rather go and explore what we talk about. You will find the answer there. I When I find out this kind of answer, I was so thankful to God. I was so excited to share, but no one interested. So now I find some of my friend here who has been God divine grace is upon you, who gave you the grace that you are able to explore the truth about health. What happened was, I'm very eager to speak to you guys, and especially those who are in the journey of health, who live a vitality. But what happened was, I don't live in that environment who support what we talk about. But so I was very eagerly waiting for the weekends, so that we can sit together, like-minded, and discuss. That's how I find being connected.
and I hope that this space can be like that. We can gather together and realize that there are many of us like-minded
Yeah,
folks
that's
who have
that's
the
the
same
that's true.
belief system, and we can all
Yeah,
support each other in that way. Also, we will put the link to the Suncooked group
yeah.
on WhatsApp so people can join it and share with their friends and relatives. Please allow them to join because we are promoting the Suncooked food there. And you can also directly speak with Pradeep Shah ji also and Nayan ji, who will help you with the guidance, the personal guidance.
Now, the one and the last thing that I want to add is, see, modern science has worked a lot on disease science, and that is why diseases have flourished. Now,
Yeah.
Very
my
true.
request to all of them is to work on health science, then health will flourish. So let us change
Amen.
the direction from disease to health, and
Yeah.
once you
Yeah.
focus on health, health will flourish.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And let
Please.
the and one more thing that I want to add, let the earning of be from the health, not from the disease. Till the time the
eh,
earning is from disease, disease will flourish. Let the earning be from health, health will flourish. That's all.
I
That's
think
what I
please
want to say.
share this message to doctor. Share the link if you have anyone who is a medical doctor, because we like to give this simple message to them that they can look into it, experiment. We won't give any degree. We are not a doctor. We don't even want to be called doctor. We are not even a doctor. But we know that there is a healer within you, and God has designed you that you can, giving the right environment, giving the right knowledge that you need. God is bestow upon us that the ability to cure any disease that you might have. So this is the great news we are
Yeah, yeah.
bringing.
So
Yeah.
there is a healer within us. Now he is drowsy because of the wrong diet. So change the diet, the healer within will become active and he can do the miracles. So let us not
That's
take the
right.
wrong food and make the healer within drowsy. And because of his drowsy, we are not able to cure ourselves.
Yeah,
Yes,
Crystal, she talk about if anyone who find her themselves being alone, feel free. We will join us. We will have a many members in this live stream. No problem. Let's talk about it. Let's hang out. We are very much open. Yeah, open
that's right.
hearts. Yeah. Okay, then
Fine.
today, yeah, shall we end our session? Anything else? Or I think we will end the session and we will continue.
Pradeep,
three,
Chad,
three of
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
we will continue.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Do you have a page that we can also post with where we can get recipes that you have tried and proven, people that
Yeah, yeah.
you know have tried and
Yeah,
proven?
no, there are lot many recipes and lot many things, but the language which may be in Hindi or so that if we want it in
That's
English.
okay.
So
That's
I will, yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Actually,
yeah. So
that
that's
would be
already
good
there.
too.
Yeah, yeah. So already my wife is a very good cook and she makes a lot of tasty recipes. So we say it's a combination of swad or swasth ka combination. I mean, it's a taste and health both getting combined. So then and
Very
then
good.
Commonwealth will adopt this system because purely
Tell her,
people
tell
don't
her to
have that
please,
inner power to it. Huh?
tell her to please write do a Suncooked book so we can all buy it and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
do those
All right.
recipes
Yeah,
at home.
Fine. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He has some
I
work
think
to do.
this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what
yeah.
it's needed,
Yeah.
especially because we want to encourage people to use the local produce, which is in their local area, what is seasonal,
Yeah, yeah.
local,
Regional.
not feel bad if they don't get avocados, if they don't get, whatever it is. But just, God has given us whatever we need in our areas, respected areas. So let us explore and have an adventure and find new things which we've never had before and just enjoy it. But I think it helps if we can put something together. Pradeep Shahji, if you have any books that you know of that you would suggest,
Yeah,
locally
yeah.
made
Yeah.
books which
Yeah,
are
yeah. So
available.
that, yeah, yeah, that I'll try to find it out and put it in the group.
Thank
And
you very much.
Okay.
only last thing that I will add here is whatever is available around you is the ultimate food. That is the superfood. You treat it as a superfood. Don't try to hunt like you said of avocados and so many things. People hunt for the costly things and expect a lot of things. No, whatever is available is ultimate and divine food. That is what you take, and that is how you treat yourself. And once you give your mind this instruction, yes, it will give that results also.
Happy to hear a comment.
Wonderful
Yeah,
thought.
great Pradeep sir. People are commenting. So we are very thankful to you, Pradeep ji, and Crystal ma'am, and the cat as well. So yeah, for joining us, and yeah, let's try to stick together and
Yeah,
let's
yeah, yeah,
change the world
yeah,
by
yeah.
changing
That's
ourselves, not changing someone else.
yeah. We
Yeah.
can be a live example, and maybe if somebody gets motivated, that's the only thing that we can do, and insist
Yep, yep.
people to adopt this
Yeah.
system.
Okay, then, guys, shall we close the session? This is
Yeah,
my
yeah,
raw
yeah.
food. This is a raw leaf. I will
Wow.
explain
Look at
what
that.
is this in the next session. Bye bye. Bye
Thank you,
bye bye.
thanks, thanks, thanks.